How should I hold this up? Dude. Hold on. That should be fine. That wasn't a bad idea. How should I place this? There we go. That's looking good. Hello. How's it going? What's up? I'm just waiting for more people to join currently. Thank you for the like, though. Appreciate it. Hello. What's up? How's it going, guys? Dude, is that for real or is it just glitching again? It said 19 people. That's a lot. Hello, Dino. The Doge. Utah. How's it going, guys? Hi. Aunt Megan. Auntie Megan. Great movie ride. Oh, yeah. I forgot. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the live stream. Megan represented well. What you guys should do, you should put your name and your favorite roller coaster or your favorite theme park ride in the comments. I would really appreciate it. That way I could get to know you guys better. Setting the example, I see. Great movie ride, as per usual. I'm cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Real name's Omar. It's pretty cool. Got a lot of new people in here. You haven't been anywhere? That sucks. That's fine. I'm sure you'll go somewhere soon enough. Somewhere cool. You subbed. Appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. When you say dino, do you mean dinosaur at Animal Kingdom? Or are you just saying your name? Did I watch Star Wars today? Yeah, I watched a little bit of Force Awakens. But yeah. We did have a Star Wars dress down at school. So I did wear a Star Wars shirt, actually. Yeah. But, so, we could kind of get started, I guess. Welcome to the stream, everybody. How's it going? Got a decent amount of people in here. Let me know if you guys have any any theme park related questions. Actually, I don't really have anything prepared for tonight, so just let me know, what should we talk about. Do you guys have any good theme park related topics in mind, or anything you guys want to talk about? There's a new park opening in Texas. We could talk about that if you guys would like. Geez, what's new right now? I'm trying to think. Or just like, yeah. Okay. So, how's it going for those of you who have just joined? Make sure to leave your favorite roller coaster and your name down in the comments if you'd like. I would appreciate it. But as for tonight, you know, not too much going on right now, but I got a couple things I could potentially speak about. So, one of them, if you guys have or have not heard, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie to you, this camera setup's awful. Because I always forget to make it landscape. And I always, like, do it, like, when it's too late. So I gotta find a way to hold this up. Alright, that's definitely not gonna work. Is that getting in the way? Alright, but then now I can't really read the comments, so that's a bit annoying. Alright, that's whatever. Yeah. Okay, trying to think, should I talk about Kodoland? Well, I don't know, to be quite frank. Your name is Max for short. That's cool. So, I guess for today, we could talk about, I already kind of talked about Big Thunder Mountain yesterday. I could talk about Buzz Lightyear at Magic Kingdom. That's a pretty good thing. But once again, if you guys have any comments, I'd really appreciate it. Any theme park related topics you would like us to discuss. But actually, a pretty cool thing right now at Magic Kingdom. Buzz Lightyear actually reopened recently from a week refurbishment, kind of in the style of what you had done to Big Thunder Mountain, maybe a little less extensive. And the problem with Buzz Lightyear is I actually kind of hadn't ridden it in a long time regardless, even before the refurbishment. So it was all kind of new to me in a way, and it was a bit skewered versus what was new and what was maintained. But I will say they did a great job with it. Regardless, it's still a great shooting dark ride. I can kind of rank up my best shooting dark rides in a way, just based off their different qualities and traits. Right now, I still think it's hard because my shooting, I will die on this hill. My favorite shooting dark ride has always been Men in Black, because while actually maybe, because Toy Story Mania is very modern and Buzz Lightyear is now also pretty modern given the new updates. Oh, hey Laura, how's it going? What's up? But I guess Buzz Lightyear is also now pretty modern given the updates. So that means of the major Orlando shooting dark rides, excluding Mario Kart. If Mario Kart counted, that would be the best one. But it's really more of an interactive than a shooting dark ride. It's the same kind of premise, but a little different in the regard that you're not like shooting, basically. You kind of are because you press the buttons on the steering wheel, but I'm not going to count it for the sake of this. So we have 3 major shooting rides in Orlando. And Men in Black has still always been my favorite, despite the fact that right now it's in the most dire of situations in comparison to the three. Right now, it is by far the least modern and timely of the bunch, which isn't necessarily um isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like classic rides are great. Don't get me wrong. Haunted Mansion, Pirates, some of the best rides out there. But I think there's a difference between like classic and outdated. And Men in Black's not outdated. It's just in a bit of rough shape. And I think not many people talk about enough the fact that it needs a refurbishment. It's kind of the same boat as River Adventure was, in a way, but more people advocated for the River Adventure refurbishment, and the River Adventure actually got the refurbishment. I think this has become a big trend in the theme park industry. This multi like month, even like year long sort of thing. You had it for the Hulk in 2016, Big Thunder Mountain. Obviously, Buzz Lightyear had a short one. Jurassic Park. Like this has become like a big trend, and I think if they were to carry this trend, we're like, okay, we're basically redoing everything, but still keeping the same theming and ride. I think the next valid option for this style of treatment, Cat in the Hat would be a great one, but also Men in Black. So it's a little weird. If anything, that speaks to the ride's quality, that it's the least modern and most need of in refurbishment of the bunch, but it's still my favorite of the three. The shooting mechanics are also the worst of the three. It may seem like this ride has a lot of stuff that's not in its favor, but hear me out. I just love the ride's comical nature. I think the whole theme and everything of the ride is very fun. It has a good sense of humor to it, and I love the physical sets. I think that's the one thing that puts this ride on top are the detailed back alley sets and all the physical animatronics. Some of them are quirky, some of them are once again in rough shape, kind of like the animatronics were in River Adventure, which led them to doing the entire refurbishment treatment. Um, but yeah, so like it's just really practically good, and I think that speaks to the levels of tangibility you get from and realness and just that raw like energy and like connection and all that cool stuff that you get from physical practical elements as opposed to rides that are entirely screen based. Toy Story Mania is by far the most modern of the shooting rides. It's also the most unique. It's entirely screen based, but it's also really satisfying. It has a great cue and a great theme, of course. But it's a very unique. It's almost like a flat ride, kind of, because you're doing these uh things back and forth. Oh, hey, Kyle, what's up? You're doing like these like switchbacks back and forth around like some wraparound screens, basically. So it's a bit like a flat ride in that regard, but it's really really cool. The 3D is good. By far the best shooting mechanics of all the dark rides. I think the lasers are hit or miss. Once again, on Men in Black, they can be kind of a miss because it can be kind of hard to see your laser, and the shooting mechanics just not as maybe even satisfying as the other ones are in a way. Toy Story Mania, perfect shooting mechanic. The trigger isn't rusty or like squeaky or anything. In fact, it's not even a trigger at all. You're like pushing back like this like lever like attached to a string. You're like pushing back on it, and you can see like your object depending on what part of the ride you're in. You're either like shooting like a pie or like a ring or some kind of thing, and it's really satisfying seeing it launch onto the screen. It's very easy to see where you're shooting. It's the easiest of the bunch. And yeah, I think it's really good in that regard. But obviously, the main reason I brought this topic up is because Buzz Lightyear recently opened from its multi-month refurbishment treatment. So, yeah, so Buzz Lightyear ended up being really good for me. I didn't realize, because once again, I hadn't ridden this ride in a while. For the longest time, I just kind of saw it on the People Mover, and I was like, yep, that's all I need for now. But it is actually a pretty solid ride. It's really fun, It's very easy to rack up points, and the shooting mechanics are great. Once again, it is one of those laser dark rides, so I guess technically you could say a bit weaker in that regard, but it's a lot better than Men in Black is in that regard. I think Men in Black's laser and mechanics should be switched to be a little bit more like this, because this was great. I kind of forgot that you could spin your vehicle by yourself. I thought that was a really cool touch. The laser is super easy to see. The shooting targets are great. I think that's one of the main things they updated. Just cool lighting. It almost gave like mini golf laser vibes. I'm honestly it was way much more fun than I thought it would be. I could have easily done that again, and stayed in my seat and been perfectly happy for another lap or two. It's a great ride. So I think I should do it more often. The problem is the capacity is a little wonky on that one, as are some Omni movers. It's weird. It's a bit of a hit or miss when it comes to Omni movers, because Haunted Mansion absolutely pumps through the crowds, but this and Little Mermaid are maybe a little weaker in that regard. So it's really quite interesting. Um, but yeah. So they added a new animatronic to the beginning of the ride. His name was like Buddy. He's a robot. I thought that was very cute. And once again, it almost gave like laser neon mini golf sort of vibe. So I thought that was really cool. Once again, very satisfying shooting mechanics. Very easy to see where you're shooting. And if anything, what that shows is that you could have a perfectly satisfying laser shooting dark ride, and it would be so great if they could restore Men in Black to its glory, because I just know that would be on top of everything. The spinning on Men in Black is great. The whole bonus, the red button at the end, is a great aspect. Gotta love when theme parks just do unique things with these kind of rides and just increase re-rideability. I mean, talk about rewritability. I guess you could say the shooting dark rides are the undisputed, the undisputed kings of rewritability in a way because of it. So yeah, very very impressive. Uh, I thought it was great. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I don't know who down there has in the comments has done old Buzz Lightyear, new Buzz Lightyear. What do you think? What about it? Any of that? Have you? Have you not? Have you? Tell me, guys. What do you think? I guess if one of you guys have done it, the old one, then I guess you could kind of inform me in a way, because once again, I have very little aspects to rely my judgment based off of, because I basically have forgotten the old ride entirely, because it's been so long since I've done it. So just this new refurbished version of Buzz Lightyear is basically all I have to go off of in general. So I really don't know like what's changed, what's new. But I could tell you it was all very impressive. So oh yeah, we are in the vertical mode. That's the issue, because right now I'm charging my phone, and it's super hard to balance it in the vertical mode, because the problem is whenever I schedule the live stream in advance, I've been doing that recently, I kind of forget to switch the orientation, and it won't let you switch it after the fact. So that's been really annoying. I need to start getting into that habit of switching it to horizontal, because right now it's really annoying. If you look, yeah, see, right once I put the 8-ball off of the charger, it lost balance. So I have to kind of crank my head to look at the comments. But yeah, I guess you could say it's pretty crazy. Yo, have you made the trek to, like, I have not. I wish. When will we be going? We gotta go soon. That looks like a great ride. I'm super proud of Legoland for getting that ride out of the, getting that ride out. Bro, we gotta go. We gotta go soon. We're a little late, but, you know, it's not my home park, so it's fine if I'm a little late, I guess. But it looks very good. Once again, I've even heard, I know it's not nowhere near on the scale of Guardians, because Guardians is literally the size of a B&M Hyper in a box as far as track length. It's the world's longest indoor coaster. And when you go in the Epcot parking lot, the Guardians show building is absolutely massive, and Guardians is just such an impressive themed experience, and the layout is so great. So I know it's not going to hold a candle to Guardians to an extent, but I am proud of something. I am proud of Legoland for at least coming up with something that has been mentioned in the same sentence as Guardians, if that makes sense. No one, everyone's, as much as we love when parks come up with these additions, we still got to be like with it, to an extent. It's really easy to have recency bias, but like, no, guys, it's not better than Guardians, and I haven't even been on it. Like that's kind of obvious, but like at least people like while still not being like biased towards it just because it's a new ride, people are still like saying like it's kind of like a little like cool like in that regard, kind of like Cosmic Rewind esque moments. So if they're mentioned in the same sentence as Cosmic Rewind, that's pretty freaking good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, I have seen pictures. So hard not to. It's so hard to be blind for anything nowadays. Not even just theme park stuff, just anything. There's everything being released every 10 seconds. Even if I haven't watched the POV of Galactic Coaster, but like when you're like scrolling through YouTube or something, and like you land on a video for a while and it kind of starts playing, it happens, and you're gonna, as much as you try to be blind, you're always gonna kind of have a little bit spoiled for you unintentionally. Ooh, how did I feel about Big Thunder? Let's talk about that. So I primarily spoke about it last night, but I was very impressed. I was talking about how in my video I did an extensive vlog there. Well, not an extensive vlog, but just a vlog where I gave an extensive analysis once I got off the attraction. But I was talking about how like it's kind of weird, like when I was going down the ramp into the station, my heart was almost beating in a way. Like, or well, obviously, but like beating pretty quickly, and that's not because I'm scared or anything, but that's because like I consider myself like sort of, I like to call myself a little bit of a theme park critic in a way, and this has been something that I've been very excited for a while. I remember, I believe I went on the last day of Big Thunder in January of 2025. So, this has been exciting. 16 months. It has big shoes to fill. Big Thunder Mountain has been a crowd-pleasing roller coaster for a while. And I tell people, as a Disney theme park fan, as a park's biggest fan, you also grow to be its biggest hater. Also, in a way, it's a little funny, like because you've known to. It's almost a compliment in a way because you've known to hold these locations to such a high standard that you see and know what they're capable of, that you have to hold them to that standard. So my harsh critiques are a compliment to these premium destinations in a way, and this is a big thing. This doesn't happen every single day. The Hulk did it in 2016, this big extensive refurb where they literally redid everything, minus the layout was the same, but the retrack, new trains, new theming, all that, new controls. Big Thunder Mountain, very similar treatment. We're getting that Jurassic Park River adventure that happened at Alton Towers for Nemesis Reborn. This treatment happens every so often, but not like every day. So it's while it has become a bit of a trend, this sort of refurb treatment. Obviously, because I named like 5 rides that have done it, it's still special nonetheless. So it was very important to me, and I was looking forward to it greatly. You could not tell how excited I was in the queue line because I love it. It's the wildest ride in the wilderness. So you got to keep that legacy alive and keep it going for years to come. So when I entered the station, I was stoked, and I was like, I really hope this lives up to the hype. And I'm glad to say it did. So obviously it's gonna be the same ride. So I know a lot of people including I to an extent, are treating it like a whole new ride. While it is, sorry, just reading the comments. Was Legend Boyska. Oh, thank you. Bye. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, that's what it's all about, entertaining people. I appreciate that. But Big Thunder Mountain, back to what I was saying. It is the same ride, so while we are all very excited about it, we gotta understand it's still the same roller coaster. I do have fans, Sam. Yes, sir. It's still the same ride, but still very exciting nonetheless. So I was stoked, and thematically, let's just break it down thematically, because there's two main components of this. There's the technical aspects and the thematic aspects that have been changed. The main thematic aspects are in the first and third lift hill, which are the two indoor lift hills on the attraction. The second one is outdoors. So the first lift hill was always in this cavern with bats hanging from the ceiling, but they were always kind of cartoony and cute. They went back to them and they made them almost menacing in a way with red eyes, and they look great. They're realistic. There's 2,000 fake bats in this cave, actually, and it is amazing. And then when we were going up to the lift, remember, guys, thematically, it can take quite a bit to impress me. Um, and the fact that this did it for me, like, I I can say, okay, objectively, this is a great dark ride, but it takes a lot to drop my jaw. But I'll tell you, as we were going up the first lift, they still have the same stalagmites and stalactites, but the main thing they were marketing is that it's gonna have this new lighting, this sort of rainbow cavern kind of thing they're going for with like a waterfall and stuff. Kind of paying homage to, most of you guys aren't probably gonna be familiar, but the Rainbow Caverns Mine Train, very old ride at Magic Kingdom, and then it then became Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. Not a roller coaster mine train, but like an actual mine train railroad kind of thing. So that was kind of paying homage to that, because that had like the beautiful rainbow caverns back in the day. That was also in Frontierland. So they brought back the rainbow caverns from that sort of style attraction. Actually, no, that attraction was at Disneyland. My apologies. But still that kind of style. You got the waterfalls, and what I wasn't expecting is the sound effects. There were dynamite in the lift hill, almost thunderous in a way. It was very cool. It was awesome. And when we were going, talk about a way to make that impact. You're going up the lift, you're cresting the lift, you've got the waterfall, you have the rainbow caverns, but they all changed to red like that. And then you hear like a big boom. It's not a blatantly story driven attraction. It's a very detailed attraction, I'll tell you that. It's one of the best themed roller coasters out there. The queue, everything, the mountain, it's so well themed, it's not even funny. Up there with Everest and Guardians and Hagrid's for like the most well themed coasters ever built. Velocicoaster Terran. So yeah, very, very cool in that regard. And I just think like it's always had a bit of an overarching story to it, despite the fact that it doesn't have like a pre-show or whatnot. So I just think it's cool, like the way they can kind of climactically like story build in a way, like having the colors switch to red, the big loud boom, and then you crest the lift. Like that just makes so much sense. Like thematically, like that's so cool. Like you have that build up, which leads perfectly, just segues perfectly into the layout. It's about the build up, the climacticness, and then obviously the fall. So great in that regard. There are a couple of touch ups in theming. One thing, if we're being honest, because I like to be honest with stuff like this. There were always effects in the queue lines where you like spin something and like something would light up, I don't know, like some like fan mine train thing. Those haven't been working for years. They're super dusty and gunky. They still don't work, so that's fun. I think they may have touched up the queue a little bit. May have like added some new railings, added some new, repainted some rock work or something, added like new like I don't know. It's a little outside my territory. But credit where credit is due. Um, the town of Tumbleweed, which is the western town you pass while you're on the ride, looks great. They repainted it, and it's very obviously repainted in a way. It looks great. Oh, hi. Hi, Ariana. So, that's my sister. Um, but it does look very great. In a way, almost a little out of place because of how vibrant the town of Tumbleweed is amidst the red southwest rockiness of the ride. That's not dig at it anyway. It's great. Like it's great when they add details like that, like repainting it. So that's fine. Um but so that was one of the main things, and then the main other thing was on the third lift hill. We all expected that the third lift hill was gonna have the dynamite effect from the third lift hill on Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland and the other Disney parks. On those third lift hills, when you go up into the cavern, there's like a big like dynamite explosion, and it's super cool. That's what we were all confident was coming. I didn't even know, like I had just assumed it was announced. Honestly, it got to a point where I was so confident. I was like on the Coaster Credit podcast, we're getting the new Rainbow Caverns, we're getting the dynamite effect. Like I didn't even know it was like something we didn't know for sure. I just thought it was like coming. Like I just thought it was so like obvious. Like of course you're gonna add the dynamite effect to the third lift that all the other big Thunder Mountains but us have. Like why wouldn't you? But they actually went for something a little different. So it's not like when I say they didn't have the dynamite effect, it's not like, oh, they were lazy and they didn't do it. It's like, no, we have another thematic sequence opposed to that. I just realized, oh, never mind. Or instead of that. So when you're going up this third lift, there's like this gold lighting and slightly ominous almost. I think like I gotta get more rerides on it, get a better feel for it. That also plays into actual technical part of the ride, like the coaster layout that we'll get to in a minute. But as for the actual like I gotta ride it again just to get a better feel for like the music that was playing. You gotta remember I was so happy. This was all like sensory overload in a way, so you gotta get a better feel as you go on. But in that third lift, it almost had like ominous, I think like Indiana Jones music kind of. Like not obviously not Indiana Jones music, but that kind of style. And there was like all this gold lighting and like a giant gold nugget on the top, like we struck gold. So that was very cool. In a way, thematically just as good as the dynamite effect would have been. If not, maybe the dynamite effect's just a little bit better. But I think it's evened out by the fact that it's something different. And it makes our Big Thunder Mountain different in a way. It's always cool to make the parks different. Why go to this park when you have the same exact thing as that park? I know I said that in last night's stream, but it's okay. So yeah, really great. Thematically, I almost like I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like when we're going up the third lift with the gold nugget, I was like, oh, it's ominous. We're not supposed to be here. Ooh, we're doing something crazy. We're doing something cool. And then as for the ride, technical aspects, they replaced the trains. I and originally thought they just replaced the lap bars repainted the trains and repadded the seats. No, they're new trains altogether. They're beautiful. Uh, of course, new track, Vekoma track. So it is the smoothest ride out there right now. They fixed some of the ride's design language. They updated the controls. All very impressive in that regard. So you could tell this was something that there was a lot of passion put into this, and they really cared about putting this out. Because I don't think they needed to do this. If anything, like, I didn't know they were going to go for this. I thought Big Thunder Mountain was just perfect the way it was, because it's already such a good ride. So it's kind of that extra layer, like, no, we want to do this, you know what I mean? In a way, like, I feel like there are other rides that I would have assumed they would have came for first, with it, which, if anything, that may just be them, like, having the wrong priorities, but I don't think so. I think it's fine. but just something to think about. But Big Thunder Mountain was great. Um, I already did kind of talk about what I thought of the actual ride experience. I thought it was very smooth. It's once again it's new gen Vekoma track. All I was saying throughout the ride, it's glass smooth, it's butter smooth, and it felt a lot less intense than the prior one in a way. Um, I noticed some of my favorite moments, including my favorite moment of the ride, the double down before the third lift hill, which kind of gives you stand up air time in the back of the train. Keep in mind, I sat in row 13, which is the lead car of the lead row of the back car, kind of the best seat on the ride. So I went for that. Um, I think they kind of killed my favorite moment on the ride, which kind of sucks because you still get some floater back there. But it's not as good as it used to be. Uh, but I will say though, like it's also very different in the front because while it's not nearly as laterally enjoyable of a ride in the front, you do get some additional floater pops while waiting for the rest of the 5-car train to haul over. So that is fair, but there are no seat dividers. So in the back row, those helixes are quite the rush. The laterals or something. So I think you could talk about how like it may take away from the aspect of Big Thunder Mountain a little bit because it's so smooth. You once again part of the charm of Big Thunder Mountain is it's kind of rickety. It's the wildest ride in the wilderness. It was never anything too like crazy or anything. But I just um I just like I would hate to see that charm and raw nature of it be taken away. It's kind of like a wooden coaster in that regard. You don't want it to be too smooth, and it is glass smooth, so I guess that would mean it's too smooth objectively because can't really get any smoother. So yeah, it was running slow, so that may also play into the lack of intensity. Keep in mind this ride hasn't broken in yet. New ride hasn't broken in yet. Still very fun though. Very great. The I guess the new trains and the decreased intensity from this retrack kind of meant like um that they could that kind of was one of the deciding factors that allowed them to lower the height requirement from 40 to 38. So that's always good. What do you guys think of Big Thunder Mountain? Tell me. I know I talk a lot. But yeah, it was great. It was great. Um all right. Well, that may do it for tonight's stream. Gonna be honest, I'm a little tired. Um, it's Monday night, so we didn't have the greatest attendance tonight, but we'll be back next week for sure. So I think that just about wraps it up. It was a fun little stream. I appreciate you guys for joining. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. This is Coaster Credit signing off. Bye, guys. Have a good night.